Hey there, in this screencast I'm going to show you how to add a blog post to a WordPress website. So in this case I'm working with a website and we notice that there is a blog on the site. So we'll come here and when we come to this blog we see that we have a collection of posts that have already been published. You see previous authors on this site have added a featured image and a title and text for just about all of the posts on here except for the most recent one. And so in the case of this most recent one, it doesn't have a featured image, so I'm going to show you both how to add a new post and how to add a featured image to that post so that you can fix this article, for example, and so that they're all uniform and look nice. So what we'll want to do is we're going to go to the WordPress admin, and once we get back there, we'll notice the place that we want to go is posts. Anytime you publish a post, it's going to show up on that blog page. And just by simply doing post add new, it's going to create both a section on that new blog page, a new section on the blog page, and a single post view of the full text of what you're publishing. So let's go ahead and click on posts, add new. Now I want to show you one of the things that the WordPress editor does by default. The first time it loads is it loads up like this. It's in full screen mode. And typically, I find that people like to turn that thing off, and so let me show you how to do that first, just so you can get your bearings and have that side menu back on the left-hand side of the screen. What you're going to do is click on these three dots over here, your options, and now you notice see full screen mode is checked. I'm going to uncheck this, and watch, we'll get the menu back. There's our menu back. There's our top bar for the admin. So now that we've got this back, let's go ahead and just type in our title and our text. So I'm just going to add some Latin text just to show you how things will fill in right here. Some lorem ipsum. So there we've got our text for our post. And so you can just, perhaps you've written your post in somewhere else, or this is a great place to compose as well. You can write your entire post right here, but if you've written it somewhere else, you can just simply copy and paste your text right here. Now that we've got the post in here, let's say, for example, sometimes you might want to add an image in line with the post, for example. If you want to do that, you notice I've got my cursor right there at the end of that first paragraph. I hit enter. And now, once you're working in this default WordPress editor, you see how it says type // to choose a block? Watch this. If I type / it gives me this little quick selection menu. So I'm going to choose image out of there. Just hit, and you can just use your keyboard if you want, and move up and down. You can make lists, quotes. You see what options you got right here. These are just some of the most common little widgets that you can insert right into a post. So I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to hit enter. You see it gives me this little image widget. I'm going to select one from my media library. These are going to be things that are already uploaded to my WordPress site. So here I am in the media library. I'm going to move me up a little bit right here. I'm going to select this picture, and once I've done that, I'm going to click select, and that's going to insert it on the page, and there you see it on the page. Once you've got it in here, you notice it just automatically puts it full width of your content. You can go in, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually resize this thing, make this a little bit smaller, so I can show you a couple other image techniques. And I'm just going to put just a little caption on that image. Now that I've got my image in, resized, I've got a little caption, let me show you these alignment options. See, I'm clicking right there. Let's go ahead and align this on the left side of the page. So if I click that, see, now we've got the text wrapping around that image. Same thing we can do with align right. And then you've got other options as well that you can play with. You can do wide width or full width. Wide width is going to make the thing span the entire width of the text, just a little bit wider than that. And we can set it at full width as well. It's going to go all the way, stretch all the way across the page. But then let's go ahead and just set it back to align center and keep it like that. So now we've got text, an image, and a little bit more text, and I'm going to move myself over here on the other side of the screen. Now, things to be aware of. So right now, I've got the image selected, and you've got block settings. You can adjust the settings for any block of content by clicking on this block tab. So the image is selected. If I click on the paragraph, look, here's block settings for the paragraph, and you can play around with that as well. For example, I could add a drop cap to the first letter in that paragraph. So you see how you can edit the discrete blocks of content on the page. But now let me show you some things about the post itself. So if I click on post, these are settings for the post that affect the overall article that we're getting ready to publish. So let's say, for example, we didn't want to publish this immediately, because when I click publish right now, it's going to be live on the site. Let's say I wanted to embargo this or schedule it for tomorrow morning, for example. I can say, let's publish this thing at 8:30 a.m. You can do that. Now you notice how this changed to schedule instead of publish, so now it's going to be ready to go tomorrow. I'm actually going to change this back to, let's see, we'll change it to the time that I'm recording this, so that we can get this thing published. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the front end. Other things to be aware of. Let's say I was posting this for somebody else that's on staff. Let's say Lauren, for example, wrote this post, and I was just coming on here and posting it on her behalf, but she's the author. Well, since we've got her as a user right now, I can switch it over to her, so she's going to be the author. Or maybe it's just a Missio staff. We've got that particular author that we can use for a generic author that's a part of this particular organization. Other things to be aware of. You can play around with your Yoast SEO settings down here. So you notice we've got a little widget over here. I'm going to move myself over here. Now you can play around with how it's going to show up in Google. You can put a meta description. This is the first couple of sentences that you'd see in a Google search result. You can also update the page title. So the reason why I've got these settings in here is we have a particular plugin called Yoast SEO installed, and it adds these options for us on a post. Other things to be aware of. Categories. You want to set this in a proper category. You typically only want to use one category, maybe two categories for a post. These are more top-level hierarchies, and so let's say this one, for example, was under aspirations. We'll put it under that category. And then we'll be able to look on a category view on the front end and actually pull up all posts in aspirations, for example. If you want to tag it, this is where, these are just things that you can do to help human beings find the posts. I mean, a lot of times people think about, is this going to help my SEO? In some cases it might, but this is more the type of thing, if you want to add a couple of tags that are germane to the topic of your post, that's a great place to do this. Here's where we're going to set the featured image. So let me close up these little things right here. And let's go ahead and set that featured image. And I'll use the same one that I actually put in the body of the post, but I'm going to set that as the featured image, and then we're pretty much good to go right here. You can set an excerpt if you want to, but typically WordPress can pull out the first 50 words of a post for an excerpt, so you don't have to do that. But if you ever want to hand specify an excerpt, you can, and that would show up on that blog page that I just showed you a minute ago. So I'm going to go ahead, I've got this thing set with our featured image, and I am just going to go ahead and publish this. So we'll publish this. Now I'm going to click on View Post. And here is our post. And so one of the things to be aware of on this, the way that this theme is set up, we've got it set up so that it automatically shows the featured image at the top. So you notice I put that image in the body of the post. So I'm going to go ahead, let me go back and edit this post. I'm going to get rid of that image. So if you're going to put an image in the body of the post, it probably doesn't need to be that featured image. It needs to be something else. But I'll go ahead and remove that block. We'll update that. Now it's updated. Now we can click and view this post again. And here you see it. It sits right here. So this is the post itself. If you want to share that on social media, you just grab the URL right out of your browser, copy that, and then you can post that on Facebook or Twitter, or send it in an email saying, hey, click here, and you go right here to this new post. Now let's also check the blog page itself. See, there's that post that we just put in. There's our featured image, there's the title, there's the excerpt, all that type of thing. We can click to read more. And so there you have it. So as cleanup right now, I'm going to go ahead after I turn off this screencast and actually delete this post since we don't want it on the site. But this hopefully gives you an overview of how to publish a blog post on a WordPress website. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.